All right, good afternoon, everybody. I would like to start off. Does anybody have questions, comments, concerns? I would love, does anybody have any of their iMovie things yet that they've started on? Come on, somebody, anybody. Does anybody even start? Josh, Jordan, Diego,
A
Malaysia,
little bit.
Alex, Linda, none of you started it yet?
Well, actually, I started it already, but
Okay. It's not due, but as I said, um, now's a great time to ask me stuff. So when you're working on it, you'll be like, oh, I know what I need to do. Mr. McCarthy gave me all this awesome advice. I'm going to get like an A. It's going to be fantastic. Um, so please do not wait till the last minute. I would love to see your work as a work in progress. Don't make me make it an assignment and have to grade you on it just so I can look at it on Monday. So please start them. It's really easy. You just go new project, and then you start looking at the fonts, start looking at your transitions. Linda, don't fall asleep on me. But just start just start looking at what you want to do for your presentation. I already got some stuff. Actually, I got some stuff that we looked at yesterday and gave some feedback to some students, and they've already went and made them better and got better grades. So like I said, please don't be that person waits till the last minute to get their submission in. Okay. Um, I am going to share my screen with you real quick as I usually do. Just kind of show you what's going on here. Now I want to make you aware of a couple things. I said I was going to do this before, and I'll do it again. But I went into our classroom website here, and I cleaned up the vocabulary because I'm sure you're all dying to look at all of this amazing vocabulary. So I would not want to.
Ha, that's a joke.
Yes, it's a very good joke. Thank you. So I just wanted to kind of show you where we're at with the vocabularies. Okay. So I broke it up into smaller pieces. It's still one long list, but I gave you headings. So I broke it down. Here's the video resolutions that we use in industry, types of formats that you use, how you compress the files. So one kind of thing that's really important to realize is, I'm sure you all know what file formats are. So in case you don't, file formats are the programs and how they save out the files, to be used. So if you use Microsoft Word, what's the extension on the end? Does anybody know? Come on, wake up, people. When you save a Word doc, what's at the end of it? Dot what?
JPEG.
Nope.
Doc.
Yes, thank you. JPEG is not JPG. So whether you know this or not, everything has extensions to it. Okay, it will tell you if it's a PDF file, portable document format has .pdf, .tiff, .jpeg. So when you work in video and sound, there are many different formats that are used. Okay, this is only on this screen here. It's just a tiny taste of what those are. But as I said before, it's really important to remember these because, like I said, when you go out in industry, you're going to be expected to know the lingo. If somebody says to you, I need you to save this as an MPEG-2 or an AVHCD file, and you have no idea what they're talking about, it's kind of embarrassing. So please make sure that you are at least taking a look at what these different formats are. And you'll see, this is just a few. Everybody knows what an MP3 is, I would think, at this point. Now it's actually MP4. MP3 was just strictly an audio format. Like when the internet was a big deal and everybody was stealing music off of a website called Napster, which doesn't even exist anymore, used MP3 format, and it was just sound. Now Apple has what's called M4A or MP4. So it's actually audio and video. And you'll see down here, way back, Microsoft still uses this. What's called AVI, which just means audio video interleave, because the audio and video are bound together in chunks. So you can kind of see here MPEG and MP4 and things like that. And I told you before what a file format was. It's just a general term that is often used of what's called the codec, the way that it's saved out. And you'll see here, AVI, MP4. These are usually at the end of your files. Okay, when you start working in Photoshop, you'll actually start to see it'll say .psd. That just tells computers where the files need to be opened to. So that's important stuff. Did you ever have a document, maybe you didn't have an extension, it looks like a white piece of paper, you double click, it won't open. Okay, that's because you have to put an extension on the end so it knows what program to open it. Okay, and then you'll see down here, when you save things out as a certain file type, believe it or not, you have to take it another step and you have to do what's called encoding or compressing a file. Okay. Encoding, it's kind of used in the same context as compression. It means you're taking one media format and you make it into another. Okay. So you can take something in MP4 and then you can encode it into MP3. Okay. But you'll hear these different things. But one thing that happens when you compress files is you lose information. Okay. And that's kind of a big deal, especially with audio or video. If you compress a file so small, the sound might be bad, the video quality might be bad. I think if you have your brand new iPhone 12 and it's 4K and it looks awesome, and then you upload it to YouTube, well, YouTube doesn't upload that high quality, so it compresses it. And you might look at it and go, wow, my video doesn't look as good as it did on my phone. It's because it's being encoded and compressed to another format size, okay? I think everybody knows what streaming is at this point. What's a big name? What's a big company that does streaming?
Twitch.
That's one. What's another one? Come on, people, wake up. Don't make me put my head down on the table, bang my head.
YouTube?
Thank you. Netflix, Hulu, all these companies, they're streaming services.
Disney Plus, Disney.
Thank you. There you go.
Discovery Plus.
Yes.
Amazon Prime Video.
Now we're on a roll.
YouTube.
So exactly. So that when you hear fancy talk like streaming services, now you'll also hear if you watch an NFL football game online, it's being streamed. Stream just means it's being opened up to be presentable in a digital format, whether it's to your home, to a computer monitor, something like that. So instead of just traditional TV cameras filming a newscast, now they also stream it. So if you're on your phone, you're sitting in the train on the ride home, you can stream that video. Okay, which, the word's only 10 years old. So like I said, when you get a chance, take a look at these things. We talked about bandwidth. It depends, the quality of your internet at home depends on your bandwidth, how much information you're paying for to come in and out of your house. If you have 10 people in the house all at the same time using their devices, the bandwidth goes from really wide to really, really narrow. Everything starts to slow down. Okay. So keep those things in mind. As I said, right before the break, I will give you a vocabulary test and you can work on it over the break. I'm pretty chill about it. You can try and take your time and get it done. You get 3 chances. Don't forget, in the lectures, I also have the introductions to iMovie. Whoa, looks like I got to fix that. And the tutorials, okay? So I will tidy up that page and fix it. Something goofy is going on with it.
For the vocabulary test,
Yes.
are you going to do it by the sections that you have it like on the website, or is all going to be on the same test?
I will probably end up doing it, not probably, I will most likely do it in like 2 separate tests. So I'll probably mix together audio formats and compression, and then I'll do another test on terms and industry and resolution.
Okay, thank you.
So instead of dragging it out into 3 long tests or so, I'll probably just do 2. But like I said, when guess what? You come back next year, guess what we're doing again? That, okay? Because this is something that's super, super important that a lot of people overlook. And believe it or not, I know a lot of industry professionals in the field, and I tell them, I'm like, what's some of the most important things that students overlook when they graduate, go to school, come out, work in industry, says like they don't know the terminology. And when you know this vocabulary and you use it, it gives you way more confidence when you're in a business meeting or you're pitching to someone. I love saying those words because it makes me sound really smart. And people don't know what these words mean. So they're like, wow, the guy must be really smart. I'm going to pay him a lot of money to make my song for me or record my video because he knows what codecs and 4K means and transcoding and all those other fancy terms. I sound like a doctor. So, you know, please keep in mind that this stuff is just as important as when you're learning the software itself. You know, you can go out and learn awesome. You can go out and learn Pro Tools and be this amazing audio producer. But if you don't know what a format is or how to encode it or compress it and save it out, it's not going to do you a whole lot of good. Okay. So just keep those things in mind. Vocabulary, I get it. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. It's like when I went to art school and I took art history, it was pretty boring. But there was, you know, some good stuff that I learned from it, you know, now that it's been years later. So keep that stuff in mind. Anybody have questions up to this point? If not, I will kind of move on. Let's see here. So I'll tell you what, next. Hey, please try to keep your cameras on. I keep seeing some of you, you're turning your camera on, you're turning your camera off. If you keep turning your camera off, I'm going to bump you from the meeting. Okay, so please keep them on. I have to keep them on because I got to take a screenshot to show who was in here and who wasn't. Okay, so let's move it on to the next thing. So
I wasn't here. I'm invisible.
yeah, right. I love your Christmas Wonderland that you have going on back there. Must have took you hours to decorate it. Let's
Thank
see
you.
here. Thank you. Yes. Well, I'm coming to you live from South Park, Colorado, getting ready for the, like I said, getting ready for the snowstorm. So here's the deal. Okay. So also I'd like to add one more thing for those of you that have your cameras on, but I can't see your face. It's just as useless as not having it on at all. So I would really like, oh, there you go. There's Linda. I like her face. Okay, moving on. So we're now going to move on to something that some of you started working on, or maybe some of you never did. Show of hands, who actually built their website in the beginning of the year, their Wix website? Okay, so show of hands. Has it been a long time since you've been on it? Yes. So I'm going to give you a quick little refresher course because I'm going to give you an assignment to update your sites for a really quick and easy 100 points. All you got to do is upload everything you've done to this point, put it on a website, and it will literally raise your letter grade a lot by at least a half a grade. So this is like a gimme, but I really like to see your website. So if we go back to your websites, now this one's mine, okay, obviously, but I have my websites in here. Hopefully you have your Wix login and password. I don't have it. So hopefully you have it somewhere. If you don't, you can obviously go into Wix and say, please reset my password. But I would honestly say up to this point, and especially for this class, you should keep like a Word document or a notepad or, you know, an app on your phone where you keep your passwords. Hopefully safer than more than anything. But I actually use a program called 1Password. I pay $20 a year. It saves hundreds of my passwords, and all I need to remember is 1Password. It has to be a really good one, but it saves all my logins and all my information, because in here you're going to get, you know, your login for your laptop, your Adobe login. You're going to have another login for Wix. You're going to have another login to create your resume. So you're going to have quite a few things. So please start to think of ways on how you can start saving your work. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you before we even get to that point, and hold on, I got a few people in my waiting room here. Let's see. Sorry. See who's in my waiting room. Admit. Okay, so we got some more people in. So I wanted to show you something on my desktop, okay? Let's just kind of make this a little bit easier to look at. So for this screen here, I'm just going to go with just a basic gray background for now. This just kind of makes things a little bit easier for you to look at. So I kind of mentioned this a couple days ago. For those of you that just joined us, how you doing? I want to go over something really important, and I want to call it like your file structure. I would love for everybody to do this. It's actually going to be a requirement when I take a look at your computers, but I started going over this the last couple of days, where I really need you to start coming up with a way to structure all your files and folders so you can keep them organized, okay? So if you're on your Mac or your laptop or your computer, doesn't even matter. You want to keep your work centrally located, somewhere you can get to it. It might even be a great idea to put it in Google Drive because you can transfer it back and forth from your Chromebook to your laptop. If you're at someone else's house and you need to access a file so you can send it to me, you know, that's a great place where you can keep all your stuff backed up. Some of you that got your laptops, you got external hard drives, you can save your work to there too to back it up. But you should create a folder, and I'll show you on my desktop here. So you would need to create a folder, drag it over to here, and you would just call it, you know, I would love for you to use your first and last name. So let's do Deshauna, or no, we'll do mine. So my name is Fred, but we'll just do F McCarthy, and I'll call it video sound. So that's for your class for video sound. Now, when you go into it, you really should start to organize how you want this stuff to look. So we actually worked on 4 different projects at this point. So what are some of the things we do in class? We do the exploratory projects, right? So I might do my initials. So we do exploratory projects. We'll do, I always build one for my Wix site. And then as we do the projects, we can jump to, let's say, when we go to the sites here, let's take a look at the classroom site real quick. And you'll see how I have the project. So you should all probably remember this. You see where it says S1, you know, you're level 1. So S1 would be the first section, the first project you do. Takes 2 weeks. So the first one would be career research, blog page, or that's for the returning students, portfolio website, and then marking period 2, workspace design, and intro to video and sound. So this is how I'd like for you to kind of keep stuff organized. And the reason why I always make you put your initials in front of it, if we ever try to save to a server or some other place, we can find it based on initials, because 20 of you might all have the same folder named the same way. Well, how's yours going to be different? You put your initials in front of it. So we could do S1 for this one here. One. And you don't have to use the whole title, but we did the career pathway one. That was section 1 was the career path. Now I can dupe this folder and just, you know, keep making it a little bit easier. And then I can change it to section 2. What do we do for section 2? Does anybody remember? You did your Wix site. So you did your Wix site. Okay. Same thing, you dupe it again. And then section 3 was your floor plan, right? Okay, so it does take a little bit of time, but I'm telling you right now, the sooner you do this, the easier it's gonna make your life. Because it really gets complicated down the road when you have a mess of folders. And then last but not least, because honestly, you don't have that much stuff yet. But you know, in 3 years, it's amazing the amount of junk that you have by the time you graduate this program. But then you go to section 4, intro to video. Okay, so that's it. This is how your folder should look on your computer. Don't forget, I could take control of your computer and see if you have this set up right. I don't do this to be a pain in the butt and nag you about it. But as I said before, if you're fortunate enough to work in this industry, you're going to be sitting with people in your class, you know, in your group, your boss, your copyright editor, the video production person, the sound engineer. You're going to have to send and transfer files to one another. And the one thing you don't want to do is open up your files to people, you know, and then they just see a whole big mess of stuff. Okay. Like for example, everybody has junk in their download folders. And it kind of looks hilarious. So I'm like, hey, can I look at your work? And then I see this mess. Okay. And believe me when I say this, I look in a student's folder and that's how all their work looks. And they're scrambling. I need to get my portfolio together. I have an interview, blah, 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 blah. Can you help me? I'm like, nope, because I don't have the time to go through all that stuff. Okay. So set yourself up in a good way to get this stuff done. And like I said before, when you go in and you're doing intro to video, what folders do you think you should have in there? Well, if you have a PowerPoint, you put in your slides, right? And then if you have audio that you want to put in there, okay, because you're going to make an audio track for it, okay? And then you're going to drag pictures off of Google, you could do an images folder. So it's all about trying to keep stuff nice and clean and organized, okay? It just makes life a lot easier. You may use this stuff again someday, but whenever you do a project, if I ask somebody to create a movie poster, I'm going to ask them to create that folder and then images and then the type that they use and then the logos that they find and the Google images that they use for the background. And it'll all be in one nice clean place. Okay, so this is how your folder structure should look. Okay, pretty easy thing to do. Now, saying that we do have that done, let's go back here to the site. And here's the site I made before. This is just like a tester site. So knowing what you can do in Wix is you already go, you pick a template, you type in portfolio or art or photography, and you know that's what you want to do. You go and obviously pick your template and then you customize it. So this is just a portfolio one that I picked. But once you log into Wix, you'll see your dashboard. Okay. So this is the site I did. And I will go here and hit edit. So once this opens up, you'll see your site will start to load up, and you're going to probably, trust me, you're going to take a little bit of time to get kind of reacquainted with this program. Now, like I told you before, I have some really awesome websites that I can show you from some of our returning students. And like I said, some of them are graduating this year. They got all their stuff together. They're getting it organized so they can either continue on with their education or try and find work. It's one of those, like I said, what you see is what you get. You click here, you have your menus and how all your pages are broken down. You can add elements here. You can change the background. You can go here and you can add, this is the big one that you use all the time. You can add a text, you can add an image, you upload your own. Wix actually has free images, but since it's your portfolio site, you're not using other people's work, okay? You can add buttons. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. The big one is down here, video and music. So if you do start making your own, when you start making your own tracks, when you start making your own videos, if you have your own YouTube channel, I have a couple students that have one. You can go and link your YouTube channel to your website. Piece of cake, you click here and then you drag it over and then you can show a video introducing people to your website. And you would just copy and paste that link in right here. You would hit change video, YouTube, and then put that link in. Don't forget here, it's just a matter, like I said, of getting back in and trying things out. You double click and highlight it. You have all your different fonts to choose from. Okay. The effects that you can do, center it. This looks a lot like Microsoft Word. But let's just create a page here. Go to my portfolio real quick. So here's a song that I added. Okay. And I made this little highlight to add to it. But let's say I want to upload some of the work that I've already done. Okay. Anybody have questions up to this point? All right, cool. So I want to go and I want to start uploading images of the work that I've done. Okay. I want to go to my image uploads. And I'm going to hit here and go upload media. So I'm going to upload these from my computer. Now I already created a folder ahead of time called student work. Somewhere in here. Student examples. Okay. So I'm going to take a look here and see what I want. So I'm just going to pick some random. So here's a photo collage from someone. Here's their floor plan. And you can just hit open and it'll upload them. Okay. And you'll see them add to your library. Okay. Now you have to export out your drawings, your floor plans as like PNGs or JPEG files. There I go again, talking about file formats and extensions and stuff, but you want to make sure everything's flattened and looks good. So let's say I want to add my floor plan. and I want to add it to my page. Now, you don't want to just throw stuff out there. You know, you'd like to go in there and add some text, okay? You can actually set up, let me do one better and say I want to add a gallery, okay? So this is a great one here, and it works awesome. So now that you're starting to get more and more work in, let me get rid of this. You may not need it right away, the gallery, but these are nice down the road. You can actually do it now if you've done all of the exploratories. So you can actually change this here and go manage media. And obviously you go select all and you delete all those pictures because they're not yours, but I'm gonna add pictures. So once again, I'm gonna go to upload. I'm gonna go back to that folder that I was in. And these are all exploratory. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once these all upload, as you can see, if I were to click on one of them, and then I hold the shift key, it'll select the ones where I stop. So I'll go add to page. You can actually do descriptions on what they were for. Like you can call this one, I know this one's texture. So you can change it and call it texture. So people start to understand description. You know, right here you go, we had to take pics of different textures. Obviously you can get more into it later. So you hit done. So now if I want to preview this, I'll hit preview. I'll hit preview and nothing will happen. Let's go back to editor real quick, see what happened. Okay, this should be working. Let's try and save it real quick. Don't forget too, when you send me the link to your website, when I want to see it, this is really, really important, okay? You want to click and copy this link right here. And when you say saving and publishing are two different things. If you want people to see it on the internet, you have to hit publish. Publish means it goes out on the internet. When you hit save, it just means you're saving the work to your file and nobody else can see it. But you can go here and select this and send it to me. Okay, I'm gonna hit done. So here's my nice little gallery. So if I go and click on this one here, okay, and it shows all the different textures and stuff like that. And I click on this, see, it says texture. We had to take pictures of different textures. So you could go in, give it a title and give it explanations. And that's really what I want to start seeing. Most of you at this point all have 4 projects and almost 4 exploratories that you can put up. You don't want to wait till the last minute to get this stuff up because someone may say, hey, send me your portfolio real quick. I'd like to take a look at it. Or there's a job coming up or an internship. I need your portfolio tomorrow. So this does take time. You know, for me, for somebody that knows what they're doing, this just took me 20 minutes to show you how to do it. So for you, I would definitely tell you to take the time, to take an hour and sit there and get back into this and spend some time on it, okay? Tomorrow I'll do another, it'll probably be snowing at that point, but tomorrow I will do another class. And then Thursday, depending on what happens with the weather, I'll give you like a 1-day assignment and then I'll figure it out. I probably won't do a live session because I'll probably be digging out my house. So I will give you, you know, at least a daily discussion and something quick for you to do. I'm not gonna give you a full day's worth of work on a snow day, but I will give you something, you know, just to do that'll get you going, and hopefully you'll go outside and play in the snow for a little bit. You could build a Mr. McCarthy snowman. I'll give you extra credit.
Frosty the Snowman.
There you go. So, you know, please take the time, go through this stuff. Yes, it does look like I went really fast through all that, but if you go to our YouTube channel, as usual, I'm going to share screen one more time because I totally forgot to show you that. Please, please, please do not forget that you can go to our lovely and talented YouTube channel. Okay, if you go to the dashboard, I can go to the playlist that I've created, updates, live sessions, working with iMovies, tutorials, And you can go back to videos to the beginning of the year and you'll actually see, there's a ton of them out there. And you can go in and you can search the channel. If I type in Wix, boom, learning Wix part 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 4 different videos that I did that are, 10, 20, 25 minutes, or I'm sorry, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes a piece that you can go in and watch. So before, not that I don't love talking to all of you, but before you start going and emailing and asking me questions, it might take me hours to get back to you. Take a look at my videos because it covers a lot of that information. And please don't forget too, you can always go back to the video sound page to the first marking period and go to student portfolio website. And it has all the instructions on, and then there's the lectures too. So everything you need to do. This is not something that's going away. And it probably looks like every few weeks or every month, I'm going to give you a grade to submit your link so I can then look and see that you've updated your pages and then give you a grade. Once again, it's an easy, points on the board. It just shows me that you're doing your work, you're building your portfolio, and it looks awesome. Okay. So I really can't, rather than just say, get it done, I'm going to give you points to essentially do something that you should be doing anyway. But just to get you in the habit of doing that. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns, or you just can't wait to get off of the class right now?
When's the test?
I said, I'll give you the test probably next week and you'll have till the break to get it done. Yeah, so it's not a big rush right now. As I said though, but think about this. I'm not really necessarily adding any new work. I might give you a nice, another fun exploratory to do over the break to do something to do with sound. Recording sounds with your phone, your smartphone, hopefully, if you have one. But I'm not giving any new projects over the break, but I would like for you to do, because many of you, many students don't have their website done, don't have all their exploratories done, don't have the floor plan completed. So I'm literally giving everybody this break up until January, whatever day we get back, to catch up on everything. Because once we're back in January, it's game on. We're not waiting. We're not leaving stuff open. I would honestly think at this point, it's going to be the middle of the second marking period. Those that have committed to the program have committed. And you know what I expect and you know what I'd like for you to do. You got the new laptops. There's no reason you can't get the work done. So please take this ridiculous amount of time that I'm giving you to get this stuff done. But I also want you to enjoy your holiday break. So I'm not going to bury you in work. So there you go. That's what I have for you. So if you don't have any more questions, anything like that, let me know, but we will circle back tomorrow. Okay. But please make sure you're working. I want to see some iMovie stuff tomorrow. I don't want to shake my hands and be angry. So please show me some stuff, peoples. I'd love to see that you at least have it started. Okay.
Can you look over my website to make sure it looks okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you do is just send me the link. You can just send it to my email and then I'll take a look at it. Okay. And if anybody else wants me to look at it, critique it, take a look, please let me know. Okay. But after the break, I will be asking for the link to everybody's website so I can go in and start throwing grades again. Okay. So please take this time, get some work done. Appreciate it. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some white stuff on the ground.